Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.
Hey folks, how you doing? It's your man Tim Black. You're tuned into Tim Black at Night. All my lights are on. I hope you have your lights on. I hope you are ready because tonight's going to be epic. What we saw today, if you're not up to speed, we're going to bring you up to speed to it because we have to share this. We got to vent this. And we have to make sure that we're not only preaching to the choir, that we're preaching to the whole congregation of everybody that's in attendance. Because we got some work to do, man. Yeah, we love talking about going over in foreign countries and seeing what's going on over there and pointing out human rights violations in North Korea. We like talking about the dirt that's on another person's front lawn in Syria, their dealings in Russia. But we have our own problems domestically that we need to take a look at. If you want evidence that we have problems, all you need to do is take a look at what happened in Chicago. Let me make sure everybody's here and accounted for, man. We got a lot going on, man. We do. We're good. We're good. We're good in YouTube world, iTunes world, Stitcher world, Meerkat world. But we're not good in Chicago, and we're not good in Minneapolis, and we're not good in Baltimore, and we're not good in New York, and we're not good in Missouri, and we're not good. Are we good anywhere? All right, so let's get to it, man. Laquan McDonald, 17-year-old, was shot 16 times. And what a lot of people don't understand is that this happened a year ago. More than a year ago. This happened last October. So what I'm telling you is it took 13 months to release footage of a shooting that basically, you know what? The only people who are denying what they saw are like the regular Klan members aren't denying it. You know, the new ones with the starter hoods. Only the Grand Wizards are denying this one. I mean, that's how bad it is. I mean, I got people hitting me up on YouTube like, well, God damn it, Tim Black. I hate you people, and I hate everything that's black. I don't even like my coffee black. I hate driving on the street because the streets are black. But damn it, that some bitch should not have shot that boy that many times. I mean, it's a waste of ammunition to shoot a black 16 times. I mean, I've got the reddest, most hateful people on the planet. I'm trying to tell you. What we saw today is the worst. Shady Rady said only 8 officers. 8 officers, only 1 took shots. That's true. Only 1 officer took shots. I'm going to get to that, though, Shady Rady. Because, yeah, that's beneficial to know. But somebody erased some footage. Shady. You know, like there was footage inside from a Burger King that was nearby that caught it. Some Chicago officers went and looked at the tapes and they erased 36 minutes of the footage of what was captured outside. So I don't know who did that. I don't think it was Officer Dyke who did it himself. I don't think he went in that Burger King and erased the footage himself. I think somebody else did that. I don't know who did it. There was also a police report, initial police report, that totally contradicts what we saw in the dash cam footage. And there also was a police union who stood behind this officer. So we got to break down on all different angles, directions with this thing. It's not just one man, but yes, one man did pull this trigger, but it takes more than one person to cover up something. It takes more than one person to drag this out for 13 months. It takes more than just one bad cop to do that. He's not prosecuting himself. Why did the prosecutor wait to prosecute, to press charges against this officer the day of the videotape being released? And then people say, where's the trust in the law enforcement? Why don't we all work together? Why can't we work together? Well, it's hard to work together and trust law enforcement. And I don't just mean officers. When I'm speaking of law enforcement, I mean the whole body of law enforcement. We're talking about judges, prosecutors, the whole process. Sentencing, review boards. We're talking about police unions. We're talking about all of it, because all of it worked together to create what we have before us. I believe this, man. I'm going to put this out here, and then I'm going to open up I'm going to go check the calls. I'm going to bring in comments. I believe that what an officer does on the field is a manifestation of that department's values, principles, training, and the culture of that police department. Because I look at it like anything. I look at it like sports. The way a team plays sports, the way a team practices is the way a team performs in the game most of the time. The way a team, the training regimen, the practices, the drills, the discipline, everything, all of it. The way the coaches, the way the line coaches, the offensive coaches, all the pieces that come together, the equipment guy. I mean, all of it is manifested on game day. You feel what I'm saying? You feel me, Ray? Shady Rady? You feel what I'm saying? So I'm looking at it like everything culminates until the day you're on the field and it's time to produce, and all of it is exposed. The lack of preparation, the bad coaching, the lack of discipline of certain players to play their position, all of it becomes evident. Feel me? All right, guys. I want to welcome my Tim Black's Wolfpack here, man. Tim Black Wolfpack in the house. Let me see who's here, man. Cristal 405. How you doing, Cristal 405? Just to let people know, I'm sorry. Let me back up, Wolfpack. Let me give people the phone number. The phone number, if you want to call in, Meerkat people, and I would love for you to call in. I got a Wolfpack. I'd love for you to join it. The phone number to call in is 323-870-4074. If you're on iTunes, if you're on Stitcher Radio, you've heard it before. Let me say it again to you, though. 323-870-4074. Phone lines are open now. They'll be open for 2 hours. That's as much time as I get on the phone lines. I'd like to use that whole 2 hours up tonight. I think people have something to say and they want to be heard. We can disagree. Let's just keep it civil with our disagreements. You know what I'm saying? But let's talk, man. All right. Let me turn my attention to the Wolfpack, man. Bass, how low can you go? Bass, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Austin Hayes, good to see you. Kimberly King, good to see you. Jamie Sutherland, good to see you. My man DJ Wolf, what's up? Kiro Taney. Kiro Taney said, I hate my guns because it's black. Just go crazy. Kimberly Santana, my friend, thank you so much, Kim. Kim, I appreciate you, lady, and you know why. Thank you so much, Kim, for pledging and being a part of keeping this show going. Very, very glad to have you a part of the Wolf Pack in the elite group on the Wolf Pack. You feel me? Hey, look, I'm just going to get started, guys. I will be coming back and forth, talking to people, shouting you out. Let me shout out my Meerkat people, too, real quick. Shady Rady, I just gave you much love. That's it. Where my Meerkat people? Shady Rady? Everybody else need to talk, man. Junior, where you at? Junior said, Tim, I got things to do. It's almost Thanksgiving. Let's give thanks. Okay, we'll get to that. All right, so let me jump over and see. I do. Hey, lady, how you doing, Kim? What's up?
How is the king?
I'm doing fine, Queen. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I did some research. I found some more information. I've been researching this all day. So I dug up some more stuff related to this case. And what happened was they put a GoFund together. They managed to raise over a little $10,000. They shut it down once they seen the video, so they're going to return the money. But then this was the part I have to read to you, because his wife was getting this all set up. This guy's wife is named Tiffany, and she basically said this here: my husband is having a bond hearing. If we do not raise this money, he will be detained on 11/24/15. She wrote on the fundraiser site, with the holidays approaching, our husband and father need to be home with his family. And then they went further down here, because I want to just get to the juicy part. When he unloaded that gun on our royal son, we know he put 16 bullets in it. Do you know this fool reloaded again, and he was getting ready to load up some more? I said, Lord have mercy. I mean, this is a big cover-up. And it was 5 cops there. Right. You gonna let him reload? Whoa.
Wow.
Like, are you serious?
Hold on. Who said who said he went to reload? Who said that?
No, not that he said he wanted to reload. That's what actually happened. And the site that I went to, New York Daily News.
Okay.
And it'll pop right up on there, on the front page.
Wow. Okay.
And that just gave it gave you a little bit more insight, even though it was mainly talking about the GoFund. And then when I seen that, I was like, I was already, I don't give a damn about if her husband got to stay in jail and you worried about your kids and stuff. He should have been worried about that shit when he unloaded that gun into that boy.
Right.
Like that.
Right.
And we supposed to feel sorry for them? I mean, it's an instant thing now. And then look, instantly, they raised $10,000 for him. It's like, really? Man, these people, they lack any conscience. And all you're worried about is the holidays. And then the other thing was, I found out that his parents, they didn't file a civil suit. Chicago offered them $5 million.
Right.
Well, if you didn't do nothing wrong, you're trying to cover your ass. Because it's an election year.
Oh.
So they're trying to stuff a lot of information. I'm always researching. I'll research for hours. And dig. And that was like, whoa, okay.
Wow.
Well, Tim, I'm always running my mouth, and there's plenty of people, and I appreciate you always giving me some time, but I'm going to be quiet.
Well, look, we thank you for your research. We thank you for that information. I hadn't heard about the reload.
You're welcome.
That's very damning evidence. This guy is crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all, give it up for our girl.
Remember everyone.
Go ahead, Kim.
Remember everyone in the New York Daily News. You can read that article.
Give it up for Kim, y'all. She hit that. Wow, man. There are a lot of people probably who don't know exactly what went on. They haven't been following this. I did a video on it earlier. Some of the points Kim brought out, I also brought out in the video, but it's amazing that they were able to raise $10,000 in such a short amount of time. That just means people blindly believe in the officers, regardless to what facts. I mean, they didn't know the facts. They couldn't have known everything at the time, but it just goes to show there are people just in the tank for the cops, regardless to what. They don't even need to wait around to find out what happened. Cop's wife says, hey, my husband, he should be home. They don't say, well, what happened? Did he shoot? I mean, if you Google, you'll see that some of the facts were already out there about the number of times the young man was shot. That was already out there. The fact that the young man had a pocket knife, that was already out there. There were certain things already out there. It's just the video puts it in a broader perspective. I mean, you can't fudge video. There's no special effects in it. But here's the thing that's really got me, guys. I don't know if you've noticed it yet. I've noticed it. There are people who are already, they're not trying to explain what the officer did, but they're bringing up other things. Oh, they want to bring up shootings in Chicago, crime in Chicago. I'm like, what does that have to do with this case? It has nothing to do with this case. And so what I'm doing is I'm using this case as a barometer for people that I don't need in my, like around me, like in what I'm doing. And you should do it too. Use this case, this obvious display of lack of human empathy, obvious display of hate, right? Use it as your barometer to tell what kind of temperature people that you know have. And then act accordingly. Because anyone who watches this clip and then their response is not to focus on the clip, not to focus on what happened, not to focus on the fact that the young man was walking away, not to focus is there's no one around for the young man to be dangerous towards. It's a fence and the young man walking away from the officers, that there are several, all armed. Anyone who tries to shift the story to anything besides what we're dealing with, you should already know what time it is and you should act accordingly. You do not need further evidence. And when I say that, I don't just mean white folks. I don't just mean Latino folks. I don't just mean Asian folks. I mean black folks too. Anyone who tries to shift the narrative of this story to something else that doesn't have anything to do with this story, it's on you if you don't hold them accountable. You got to hold them accountable sometime, people. All right? When I hear about when someone drunk drives and they run over a child, no one in that auditorium should stand up and say, why are we talking about drunk driving? Let's talk about cancer. Because right now we talk about this child who was ran over by a drunk driver. Sir, have your seat before we drag you out by your face. But it seems to me only when it comes to black folks getting shot by cops does somebody get to jump up and say, but what about black on black crime? What does that have to do with this? We talking about this right now. On this channel, we talk about it all. So look, just do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. We need to rid ourselves of these toxic people and these people who mean us no good. Let's start doing it tonight. You don't have to get into an argument with them. You don't have to debate them. You cannot debate hate. You cannot debate hate or self-hate. You can't debate it. There's no argument strong enough for the self-hater. There is no argument strong enough for the hater. You just say, oh, really? Really? You talking about that when we talk, okay. And just keep that. Peace. That's how you do it. All right. Hey, cut your, you got something on too loud. I think you got me on speaker, man. Hello?
Oh, what up? Hey, it's Los.
Hey, Los. I got a lot of feedback going on in the background, man. How you doing, Los?
I'm doing good, man. Shit, what we talk about tonight?
We talk about the shooting of Laquan McDonald, my brother. Yeah, man, it's a heavy subject tonight, man. It's a tough subject.
Man, I seen the one video you put up, man. It's crazy. Like, we live in a sick world where people will actually fund this type of madness. Like, who are these people that's giving money to this guy?
Man, I do not know, Carlos. What I was telling people earlier is I think there are people who didn't wait for any evidence. The woman made a plea on the internet, you know what I'm saying? And they just gave money, like, here you go. It's a cop need help. Here you go, cop. I don't care what you did, cop. You know what I'm saying? And wrote checks, man.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. We live in a sick world, but it's just another day in America, man, where, soon as, we see a case like this, the first thing come out of the average white person's mouth is, well, what did he do? Like, what you mean, what did he do? I mean, of course, we want to know the full situation, but you shot a man 16 times. I mean, I think you said, 9 times while he was in a fetal position?
Yeah, while he was laid down on the ground like this, while he was laid down on his side, he was shot. 9 of the shots occurred while he was already on the ground.
Like, come on, man. You can't. I mean, only an evil man can justify these type of actions. Like, I don't know what this. I'm speechless, man. Like, it's crazy, but it's like I said, these officers are not there to neutralize situations. They're really escalating it a lot of times. You call them for something simple, and it turns into somebody being shot or somebody being arrested when it really could have just been, rectify, hey, you do this, you move, you go here, you go there,
Right.
But, they come in, but this is what happens when you have people policing communities that, they don't like. If you don't like the people, how are you going to properly police the community?
Right. Exactly. It's a...
Yeah, man.
Go ahead, Carlos.
Oh, you go ahead.
Yeah, man, it's a
man.
But you bring up a good point, man. If you don't like the community, how can you police the community? If you don't like the people, don't understand the people, and you have a chip on your shoulder, you are toxic for that area. But how do we weed out people like that? Like, how do we get rid of them? And don't get me wrong, Carlos, before you answer, remember, I know you saw, what was it? Was it Boys in the Hood? When the black cop was, remember the black cop who had the Boys in the Hood? I hate y'all coming up. I hate y'all niggas. Remember him? He exists, Carlos. Yeah. He was black. Remember that now. So it's not just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know I'm not trying to say that, I'm not trying to say it's not a racial component. I'm not saying that. But there are cops who are just hateful, man. This guy is hateful. He was one of 5 cops, and he's the one who shot 16 times by his damn self. He wasn't the only white cop there. He wasn't by himself.
Man, I mean, it definitely isn't. It is a racial component to it, but these black cops, a lot of these black cops ain't no better, because when you see these type of things happen, how many black officers have you heard say anything?
I hear all these stories about how hard it is to do. You know what? It's not hard to quit a job you can't stomach doing. It's not hard to do that. I left jobs before. Yeah, you could quit the job. You don't have to work there. I mean, if you say you're under this stress, leave. I know somebody who was a fireman, became a cop, went back to being a fireman because he couldn't stomach being a cop. I don't want to hear that, oh, it's just hard. It's just hard. You know what? I'm sure there are a lot of soldiers who killed Jews in concentration camps with a story like that. You know what? But we don't let them off, and I'm not letting you off either. You do a job you hate, stop doing that damn job.
No, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, there's no excuse for it. Because it's like, honestly, I wanted to be a cop at one point, and I just seen all the things going on, and I knew that I wouldn't be able to deal with that, so I didn't do the job.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it ain't no excuse for the things going on. And then, like I said, everybody say, well, it's not all the cops. Well, I'm pretty sure, like, if you see what's going on and you don't say anything,
Right.
you're just as guilty. I mean, and they have laws against that. I mean, so you can't just sit here and say, well, it's not all of them. But, I mean, nobody's speaking up, so, all of them getting blamed for it.
Right. Right. Exactly, man. People got to remember, man, they want to compare cops to civilians. You cannot compare an officer of the law to a civilian. Our officers, we rely on them. We give them authority. We give them ammunition. We pay their salary. Cops are not civilians. You can't. We hold cops to a higher standard, just like you hold doctors to a higher standard, nurses to a higher standard, teachers to a higher standard, because they're given authority over children's lives, over people's lives. So when cops don't do the right thing, we gotta punish them, just like you would anybody else. In fact, Carlos, I would say we should punish them worse than we would do anyone else, because they take an authority. Who knows how many times this guy, Officer Dyke, he had been brought up on, he had 16 other complaints for police brutality. I'm trying to find my paper, man.
Man, that's crazy, man.
16.
Nah, I definitely agree. They should be charged more when they do things like this, because show me a video of a black person, or a white person for that matter, shooting somebody and getting off with it scot-free.
Right, that's my point.
Being justified. I mean, like, come on now.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're dealing with people's lives, and the only difference right now is we got these videos now. Come on, these cops are so dirty, they get into a Burger King and erase the video?
Exactly. I found that out after I did my video, that they went into, that these officers went in and erased the footage. Erased the footage to keep this from becoming public.
Man, we live in a sick world, and it's sad that the government was sitting here like, well, Robert Emanuel tried to cover it up.
Rahm Emanuel, he didn't want this to come out, so like now he's in front of it, like, this is wrong, and this is this is inappropriate, and this action is heinous. But a week ago, he was fighting right along with the prosecutors for this information not to come out. He doesn't want the world to see this. I understand he don't want people to see it, but it's a reality. It's what happened. And another thing, Chicago has a long history of bad police work, dirty police work in Chicago. It's widely known. I don't know why he's trying to act like he doesn't know. Rahm Emanuel knows how Chicago is. Come on, man.
Man, come on now. He ain't no fool.
He ain't no fool. Acting surprised.
It's sad, man. It's another day in America, man. It's like I wish I could say it would go away, but man, it's an everyday thing out here. And think about a lot of the cases that we don't hear. A lot of the cases where there is no video.
Hell, man, we can't get some people to agree with us when we got video. Hell.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what's so sick about it. It's like this man can be clearly on camera, and they will find some reason to justify that. I'm sorry. You as a cop, I understand you want to go home, but you wanting to go home and override you doing your job correctly. Come on now. When you shoot like an unarmed man, look, what gives you the right? You shot him 16 times. How can any person with the same mind justify that?
I mean, they need to just go ahead. Look, I would feel better if Officer Jason Van Dyke, that's his name, I would feel better, man, if he said he was crazy. I'd almost want to buy that. Like, I could, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could buy that. I can't buy any other explanation except the man is crazy. You would not shoot a dog 16 times. And remember, Carlos, you know what they were called originally for? They were called because Mr. McDonald tried to pry a lock on a car door and had a pocket knife. Not that he killed somebody, not that he stabbed someone, not that he was walking around poking a knife at kids, not that he was setting fire, that he just shot up a movie theater, that he had tried to break into a vehicle, a parked car with no one in it. That's what the call was. And this officer jumps out his cruiser and shoots this young man within 6 seconds.
I mean,
That's it.
these guys, they looking just like, they as worse as, they as bad as the gangs. I mean, like, what about the case where the cops ran up on top of the car and shot through the roof of the car? Like,
I remember that.
Like some gangster shit to you?
Dude, that right there, that was some Bonnie and Clyde type shit. That was, I just think about the you know what I'm saying? That's what I thought about when I saw that case. I think, that's like Bonnie and Clyde. They just jumped on top of the car and just fired it with automatic weapons. Like, and these people had no weapon.
Man.
They had no weapon.
These people, they the real gangsters out here, man. They really are.
They really are, dude. They really are, man.
Yeah, man, like I said, I wish I had a solution, man. Like, well, my solution is, you just got to stay away from, like, try to stay away from it. That's the best. That's been my solution, staying out of trouble, just staying out of the way. And it's sad that I can't, I got to live and be conscious of my surroundings like that. But it's like, it is what it is. Like I said, once you dead, you dead. So, we know what's right, but what are you dealing with?
Right.
I mean, like, you just got to be conscious of what's going on around you. And when you deal with them, be smart. Don't, because like I said, I almost got shot because a police officer pulled me over for a seatbelt ticket. And I forgot that my firearm was in my glove box. So I'm reaching in there to grab my insurance. And here it is, this big ass 357. Luckily he didn't shoot me.
Right.
But he probably could have shot me and would have been justified about it.
Yep. Because he just has to think, right, Carlos, he just has to think you're a threat. You don't have to actually be a threat. So people don't understand. He just has to think it's a threat. He don't have to prove it. He just has to say, the jury just has to believe that he may have thought he was being threatened. See?
Like, could you imagine if citizens was given the same right as police? Oh, my God.
Oh, God. Oh, God, bro. Everybody be dead, bro. Wouldn't be nobody left. I tell you this, if citizens had the same rights, Carlos, as police, you wouldn't have no commuting problems. I can tell you that shit. Because it would be open spaces on the highways. You know what I'm saying? You'd always have a seat on the metro. You wouldn't have to worry about. You could go to MVA anytime. You'd be good.
Man, it's the truth, man. We live in a dirty world, man, and it's like, it's obvious. Like I try to tell a lot of white people, well, they never show the white stuff that's happening. The black people killing the white people. Well, I'm like, but we don't control the media. You need to look at your people that's manipulating and showing what they want to show to pretty much pit the people against each other. Because we don't control the media. Show me one of these networks that black people own.
You know what? That's a very good point, man. I did a video of Zachary Hammond. Now, Zachary Hammond was 18 years old, maybe 19. Zachary Hammond, he got shot in the head, just like Sam DuBose got shot in the head, over nothing, over a little bit of weed. And no one covered that story. It was a story I thought that everyone should talk about. I did a very impassioned video. You can find it on Tim Black Unleashed. And no one would cover it. And it's not my fault that no one covered it. But that's the thing. The media chooses what they want the story to be. They choose what they want to blow up. And just like, the best singers don't become stars, they get chosen. You know what I'm saying? The best rappers don't become. Listen, right? Exactly. The best rappers don't become stars, Carlos. They get chosen. The best models, the prettiest models, aren't the ones you see. They're the ones that are chosen. Same thing goes with news, man. People need to recognize that. Stop blaming black folks for the media not showing white folks getting killed.
They love blaming it. I think I got to arguing with a couple of trolls on your page last night, talking about, pretty much talking this old America's great bullshit. I'm like, man, get out of here with that, man. And pretty much trying to blame, well, black people kill more of this and more of that. I'm like, man, get out of here with these fake ass statistics.
Right, right.
I'm like, y'all really trying to blame us for shit that we don't control. Like I said, the Black Lives Matter media, that shit, we wouldn't even know what it was if the media didn't cover it. Damn,
think that's some real shit. There you go. And people need to think, why is the media covering it? Are they covering it to help people? Or are they covering it? I mean, come on, man. Are they really covering it because they want to help get the word out? People need to start thinking. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. People live in a fantasy world, Carlos.
Man, they live off they live off emotions, and and don't really think about what's the reason. Because when I first got into a lot of this stuff with politics, government was going on with the world. I was caught up in it too, and then I started sitting there and looking. I'm like, man, all this stuff is slanted. And then when you start knowing the real story, and then you hear how the media puts it out. Like, hold on, you just straight up lied, but when you don't know the real story, you can't say what's real and what's not. But I've learned that you always need to look into what the real story is and not just take their word for it, because they'll have you out here looking like a fool and passing around misinformation.
Exactly. Look, man. Hey, look, Carlos, man, I want to thank you, man, for calling in, man. It was nice to chop it up with you on this story. It's a good dialogue, man. I hope people got something out of it, man. Y'all give it up for Carlos, man. Come on now.
Hey, man, appreciate it, man. Appreciate for getting me in, man. Keep the topics coming, man.
No doubt, man. Man, this was great, y'all. Check this out, guys. I want to make sure I give you some facts to go away with about the story that you may not have, because I did a lot of, beatboxing with my man Carlos and a little bit with Kim. Let me give you this, man. Here's what you need to know. Officer Jason Van Dyke had been on the force 14 years. He's not a rookie. He's been around. He had 18 citizen complaints, none of which ever received any disciplinary action for whatsoever. This is his third shooting investigation. Do you realize that most officers have never shot their gun? This is the third time that Mr. Van Dyke had shot his gun. It took a year before they brought this case to bear. The Anita Alvarez, which is the prosecutor there in Chicago, says, we really need to look at everything before we did anything, because, a law enforcement case requires strict attention to detail. Well, you know what, Miss Alvarez? All cases require strict attention to detail. But 13 months? That's a little bit too strict, Miss Alvarez. Laquan McDonald was 17 years old. He was shot 16 times, as you know. 9 of those shots did occur while he was laying on the ground in a totally non-threatening position, obviously. I mean, what can be more non-threatening than not standing up? Jason Van Dyke, he has been charged with first-degree murder. I am concerned, just on a side note, that they didn't charge him also with manslaughter and a couple other charges. The one charge, I'm not exactly sure how that works in Chicago. If they don't get that conviction, can he then be sentenced to second degree? I'm concerned. All right, just want to put that out there. Maybe someone who knows better than I can call up and enlighten us. He is looking at a sentence of 20 years, though, okay? We talked about Rahm Emanuel's lackluster attention to this matter and trying to sweep it under the rug, so to speak. That's just my opinion. 16 shots, we got to that. Yes, there were a total of 6 officers on the scene, counting Mr. Van Dyke. And Mr. Van Dyke is the only officer who felt so threatened that he had to shoot 16 times. So the other officers, in fact, the dash cam footage is an officer in a vehicle driving slowly behind the suspect. No one told Van Dyke to get in and do something. There was an officer, if you look at the film, there is an officer in the film site standing right next to him who did not open fire, who did not feel threatened, okay? Very important point to this. The family of McDonald's family was paid $5 million. They did not sue. They did not sue Chicago. Chicago paid them preemptively. You understand what I'm saying? So, put it this way. Someone just walks up and gives you some money without there being a civil case. That itself should tell you everything you need to know, but we'll go through the gyrations of the whole thing. What are some more points? This is great. The Chicago Police Union gave a very different narrative before the release of the dash cam footage. In the reports, in the officers' reports, that were signed off by more than just Jason Van Dyke, but by corroborating officers that were there, they said that Mr. McDonald Laquan lunged at the officers, that Laquan was being aggressive towards them. If you look at the footage, I don't know about you, but that's not what I see. And if you see, after looking at that footage, that Laquan McDonald was going towards Officer Van Dyke, if that's what you see, I suggest you get an eye exam immediately. You have problems. Because I don't know what film you're looking at. Make sure you're looking at the right film, okay, if that's the conclusion you draw. To me, it looks very obvious. Young man's walking that way. And last but not least, this reminds me a lot of the Walter Scott case. You know, Walter Scott, the young man, the older man that was shot in the back, what was it, 8 times? I don't know, 9 times? I don't know, so many times, right? By Officer Michael Slager, who was also being charged with murder as we speak. His case is pending. Same thing with Officer Van Dyke. So we talked about the $10,000 that the wife was able to raise preemptively before the releasing of the dash cam. Now the dash cam footage is out. The video has been taken. Well, the GoFundMe is no longer available. If you go to the website, you'll see it's no page found. Well, maybe that's because no grounds found. No grounds for people to give them money. No grounds for anyone to have anything negative to say about the young man other than he was high on PCP. Well, you know what? Being high on PCP should not warrant a death sentence. Officers are not executioners. Officers are supposed to be peacekeepers. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the only crime committed by Laquan that day was that he tried a lock on a car door. Remember that. This is not a black problem. This is an American problem. I say that because we should all be concerned. It should not just be something I talk about. It should be something everyone talks about because we all live here. We should all be concerned with justice in our country, regardless of skin color. The trolls are out in great numbers today. It's sad, but it's an opportunity for you to finally identify them once and for all. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Let me see what my comments are. Let me give everybody some love for putting up with that soliloquy. Meerkat people, I got you over here too, Meerkat people, because I get tired of trying to go into my little phone. I got the tablet. Shady Rady says, they hushed the family and thought no one else would care. There you go. They paid off. They tried to pay off the family, Grady. They did. And it didn't work because the judge... important point. Shady brought this up. Shady Radio Meerkat brought it up. He said, thank God for the Freedom of Information Act. He is correct. Give it up for Shady, y'all. Because without the Freedom of Information Act, this footage would have never seen the light of day. A reporter, a journalist in Chicago, Brandon, I can't remember Brandon's name. Brandon commissioned the court to get this footage released. If it wasn't for Brandon, this footage would have not been released. Okay? In fact, I'm not even sure the parents wanted it released. Okay? Y'all feel me? All right. Shout out to Morgan. Thank you for restreaming this, Morgan. KNMO Foster, thank you for restreaming this. Runori, my man Murad, thank you for being here and restreaming. Landing Point, thank you for liking this. And now I got to go to my Wolfpack and see what's happening. Wow. Cristal says, if you take the guns away from a race soldier, he or she would shit themselves. It's very cowardice, Cristal, for any man to shoot an unarmed person. Knowingly. Remember, this is a well-lit... You really have to watch the film. I can't put it in this video, guys. I don't want to risk my channel. I've done enough risking, right? I owe it to you to keep my channel up and running, right? People who have given to my channel, like Kim, to keep my channel running. So I will say this, you really need to see the footage because you'll see this is a very well-lit location. This young man is blocked by 5-6 officers. He's walking down a corridor, down a street that's empty. There are no children running by. There is no, there is nothing. No one's in danger. No one. You got to see it to fully appreciate where I'm at on this. This is as bad as Walter Scott, but worse. You know why? Because Walter Scott did have some type of interaction with the officer physically. This young man, he never approached the officers. He was walking away from the officers. Not running, not turned towards them, but walking away. And once again, more shots were put into him as he lay than when he stood. People said they didn't believe there was any way that Michael Brown could have been shot down. They didn't believe it. But I want you to think really hard about what you believe. Because if it was up to Chicago police, you wouldn't know about this tape. And this tape clearly shows they lied on the report and they shot a man laying down on the ground with no weapon other than a pocket knife. All right? Ronald Hotboy says hello. Ronald Hotboy, how you doing, man? Glad to have you here. My man Bass. What up, Bass? Brooklyn, man. Brooklyn in the house. Chris Radke. If your cops don't have weapons, it makes them useless. You wait and see what happens when ISIS knocks on your door. You know what? You and I don't know where you live at, sir, but in America, ISIS is not our main threat. That's what the media wants us to be afraid of, ISIS. I'm more afraid of officers, not ISIS. Okay? All right. James Sutherland, we have special units called SO19, Normal Cops Curry, a truncheon. Okay, Jamie must be from the UK. It's good to know the way other countries deal with their crime issues or deal with policing in general. A little bit different. I got some great people, man. When I Rap. What's up, When I Rap? Good to see you. Chris Radke. I got a lot of people, man. This is my wolf pack, guys. My wolf pack. I encourage you all to come to IamTimBlack.com so that you can get in on the conversation. We have a chat going on. Just like on Meerkat, I got a Meerkat group. I scream on Meerkat as well. Meerkat has its own culture, YouTube own culture. My folks on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and Blog Talk Radio. I don't want to get back on my soapbox, man. I would love for somebody to call in and let your voice be heard. Once again, the number is 323-870-4064. We still have time if you want to call up. Talk to me. Let me know how you feel. What does this remind you of? What does it make you think? Are we having more of these incidents? Or is it just we're getting more of them on film? What's your opinion? It matters to us. All right? Matters to me. It matters to us. I don't know, guys. I'm sitting, I'm wondering, like, I don't know what they're going to do in Chicago. People say, I hope they don't riot. Here's why. It's not because I'm afraid people are going to look at them like, look what they always do. Look what they always do. You know what? No matter what happens in Chicago tonight, after seeing that film, people are going to say that anyway. They say it regardless. It doesn't matter what our reaction is. As people, there's going to be a segment of the United States who are going to blame the victim regardless to what happened. They blame women for wearing tight pants and getting raped. You shouldn't have wore tight pants. Why'd you wear a skirt? Why didn't you cover up your hair? Why you got your boobies out? As if that's a justification for her being raped. It's just, this is what goes on. It's like that man, that 40-year-old man took advantage of that 14-year-old girl. Well, it's not like she's 6. She knew what she was doing. There's always some sickos. No matter what, guys, don't focus on that, okay? It'll drive you crazy. Take it from somebody who has YouTube channels, right, with 1,000 videos on them, right? You're going to hear a lot of crazy stuff. You can't judge the world based on the radical, crazy 10%, all right? Let me let some people get in here, man. For real. Hey, you live with Tim Black. Who is this?
Hello?
Hey, you're live with Tim Black at night. Who is this?
Oh, hey, man. My name's Carlos.
Carlos. Where you calling from, Carlos?
I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona. I'm really happy to get your call. I just called on the whims, and it's actually pretty cool seeing you.
Hey, man.
Anyway,
Hold on, Carlos. Our first time callers always get an applause, man. We cannot break our tradition, Carlos. Give it up for Carlos, y'all. We got to try to broaden our audience, man. All right, Carlos. You have the floor, my friend. Go ahead.
Okay, first thing, I want to thank you for having this channel. I appreciate it. I watch it all the time. I wish you were bigger, but I guess things take time. Yeah. So I want to get that out of the way. And two, about the incident that happened last year, but the video today, I saw it. It's ridiculous. I can't believe the trolls that are in the comments. I can't believe this goes down in the United States all the time. I can't believe there's not an outrage about it. I can't believe Fox News and all these other news stations are calling these protesters terrorists. We live in a fucked up world. Like that's a fact.
You're right about that, Carlos. Very right, sir. Very right.
What else? The video, it's really, really not cool to watch. I mean, how do you shoot someone on the ground so many times? I just don't understand this. And then you made the comment about Michael Brown. Like, I wish we had that video of Michael Brown, because I feel like I'm like 99% sure it wasn't like how everyone says it played out. I think this police officer, Darren Wilson, I think he got away with murder, you know?
Right.
And I don't know, I'm happy that this is coming to light and that everyone is, noticing and waking up. But it's just the most horrible feeling when the other side doesn't understand where you're coming from and they're ignorant. They rather blame rap music, black culture, and all this stuff.
Right.
That shit just fucking kills me inside.
Man, hey man,
Yeah.
Hey man, look guys. Carlos is really hitting it out the park, man. I appreciate your comments, Carlos, man. And it's kind of, it's not kind of sad. It's horrific what people will discount. I think what it is, Carlos, is people want to live in a bubble. They don't want to. It's not that they want to be evil. They don't want to accept reality, because the reality is fucking sad. You feel me?
Very true, 100% with you.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta accept that you don't have like control, that cops do lie, that cops, it's like there are people out there named Heather that go, my God, I can't believe cops shoot people and then lie about the situation. They're like, they wouldn't know what to do. They would be like really screwed up, Carlos.
For sure, and it's human nature. And I'm not a police officer, but I served in the Army for 5 years. I've deployed. I know that like shady shit happens, we're trying to like watch out for ourselves, and like if we can do it over there, soldiers are just like, we're just shady. There's just some shady shit that happens. I mean, right. The way we write reports, just the little things, the things that you don't leave in, like it's for sure that happens with police officers. For sure they lie. For sure they don't put the whole truth.
Right.
And it sucks.
It is.
It sucks.
It does.
But
it does.
There needs to be a better system, an accountability. I think with all this new media coverage, I think there will be more police officers thinking like, okay, fuck, before I pull the trigger, I need to think about this.
Right.
I really need to think about this.
Right.
And hopefully that works. But I don't know. I feel like, look at what's happening with the presidency, with the Republican Party. Like, I know we're a melting pot, but goddamn, like America's fucking super religious and super fucking racist.
Yes.
Super racist.
Yes,
but
it is.
That's just my 2 cents. I don't want to keep on talking. I don't really have anything much to say, but just want to shout out that I watch you almost every day, man. So keep on doing what you're doing. let the haters hate.
Yeah.
And I know this takes a lot of your time. I know you got kids and shit.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank you for that.
Hey, man, thank you, Carlos, man. Give it up for Carlos, man. Hey, thank you, Carlos, for acknowledging that, man. I love what I do, though, man. Like, I left what I was doing. This is my passion, so I'm happy. I'm happy to be doing what I feel like I'm good at. You feel me? So I'm willing to put in the time, man. I'm willing to go 3-4 hours, sleep a night, you know, until I just pass out, and then I wake up when I wake up. You know what I'm saying? And I wish that for you, too. I wish for you to do something that you are passionate about. You know, that if you died doing it, you'd be all right with it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Carlos brings up some damn good points, man. Rob, man, I thought you weren't going to be here, Rob. Hold on, man. Hey, is that my man, Rob?
David, I was able to catch it on the drive home. I streamed it through YouTube on my phone, but I had to put the phone downside so that it didn't shine no light in the car so people didn't think I was texting or something.
Right.
But I was able to, if I could at least listen to see what was going on. And Tim, I have yet to watch the video, but the facts that you've already stated, it's almost, I don't need to. A $5 million payoff, Rahm Emanuel trying to sweep it under the carpet. It stinks to high heaven, and I would doubt that this man was even high on PCP. Nothing but lies have been coming up to taint this whole case. You know, and if they're he was high on PCP, that almost reminds me of that Dave Chappelle skit where he says, just sprinkle a little crack on him, Johnson. And, move along. Remember that?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Something's got to change in the perception. Like you said, the perception of threat. Does the perception of threat warrant an execution? There's got to be a fine line where these police officers are held to the higher degree of accountability that, like that young man there, if he was not deemed a deadly threat and you couldn't mace, you couldn't tase, you couldn't do some other means of controlling the situation, you had to shoot 16 times, and you're worried about, well, he was justified? It's wrong. You said it earlier, the perception. You're exactly right. If I was allowed to get off with the perception of a threat, there'd be a lot of dead motherfuckers out there.
Right.
I feel threatened all the time.
Exactly.
I felt threatened. My word against him, he can't talk. He's dead. He's dead.
Yep.
He threatened me. He gave me a look.
Exactly.
I don't. You're going to have these shows forever until something gets done about them. And you said it at best as far as law enforcement as a blanket, not individuals, but the whole system, from the beat cop all the way up to the judges, all the way up to the politicians. When Rahm Emanuel was hiding it under the carpet, there's your politician, there's your Chicago leader, saying, I don't want to get rid of this. I want to get rid of this. How do we get rid of this? Pay the family $5 million. Try to hold the video back. It's dirty. It's dirty, and Chicago needs to get rid of him. You don't need a man like that representing you.
Absolutely, man. Y'all give it up for Rob, man. Rob hit that. And that's what I've been trying to say, guys. That's what I've been trying to say.
Hey, I'm going to let you go, Tim, but I was able to at least listen to it and just got the door here a little bit ago and kept it rolling. And, like the previous caller, Carlos, we need more of him out there spreading the word of what your channel does. You hit it on the head as far as this type of news does not get attention. And I don't watch mainstream news anymore. I watch your news. I watch somebody that's picked apart the bullshit out of it for me. Right. That's why I come to your channel.
That's it, man. Hey, look, Rob, man, you know I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, man, calling in.
Appreciate you, Tim.
You know it, man.
Let you go.
You got it, man. Hey, man, give it up for Rob, man. Give it up for Carlos. Give it up for Carlos. Give it up for Kim. And anybody else who wants to call in, man. I mean, I feel almost an obligation, man, to run as long as we possibly can tonight because I think some people have some stuff on their heart, man. I mean, people who saw that film now, Rob said he hadn't seen it. I gave you a pretty good play-by-play. I still encourage everyone to see it for themselves. And look, man, call me out, man, if I'm wrong. Call me out if you see it a different way than the way I see it. I'm not infallible. I never said I was. But what I am is a person who's going to call it as straight as possible. I have no agenda but the truth. That's the only agenda. You're not going to get that on CNN. You're not going to get that on MSNBC. You're not going to get that on HLN. You're not going to get that on Fox News. You're not going to get it anywhere. Why? Because everyone has an agenda. My agenda just happens to be the truth. And no one owns my channel but I and the viewers. My viewers fund me, not corporate sponsors. All right? That's important, guys. That's important. Where the money comes from. Speaking of money, guys, come on, guys. Anybody who had like second thoughts about this case, that $5 million being paid to the family doesn't tip you off to something. When was the last time somebody gave you $5 for no damn reason? Come on, Meerkat. When was the last time somebody gave you $50 for no damn reason? Come on. If the city is giving you $5 million, it's because they knew you could get 20. It's a business, y'all. It's not a philanthropist organization. It's not out to feed the hungry and make you a millionaire. This ain't let's make a millionaire. Last time I checked, Chicago wasn't doing good financially. So the fact that Chicago gave the McDonald's $5 million should tell you all you need to know. But still, there'll be people with conspiracy theories out the wazoo talking about what happened. Talking about this is all a cover-up. This is all a distraction to do the blah, 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 some crap. Come on, folks. We're smarter than this. And if we're not, we better get smarter. You need to stop looking at me as the enemy. I need to stop looking at you as the enemy. We need to be the solution and start holding these people accountable. And not just the officers. Prosecutors. Prosecutors need to be held responsible. Prosecutors, I'm losing connection. I'm looking at this. Prosecutors need to be held responsible. Why? Because the prosecutor, Ms. Alvarez, did not want to even try this case. What is going on? Hope you guys can see everything. Restream, Meerkat, restream. Because I got a lot of stuff going on. I guess my signal not that strong. But you guys understand what I'm saying? Miss Alvarez, Anita Alvarez, what's her first name? You guys need to notice, if you're in Chicago, Anita Alvarez, I do not want her rehired as prosecutor. I don't care what you got to do. She needs to lose her job. You understand? It should not take 13 months for her to file a murder indictment for that officer. You understand? That should stink to high heaven. We should not just fault this officer. We should fault the institution that allowed an officer like this to operate with impunity for 14 years. Come on, guys. Come on, man. If it was your child, what would you want? If it was your cousin, if it was your brother, you understand what I'm saying? We want the whole thing to change. We need to change it all. And see, that's what's happening. We're picking out these bad apples, but we're not doing something with the apple cart. We're not doing something with the trees. We're not doing something with the ground that we're putting in that we're growing the apples from. You understand what I'm saying? We gotta go deeper, or we're gonna just keep one off. We're gonna just keep having these one-offs. Bad, 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 bad. Hold up. Eventually, someone's got to come in and say, hey, like Lamonis on The Prophet. You watch The Prophet on CNBC? I only shout out stuff I really like. They're not paying me. CNBC, The Prophet. Well, first thing he comes in, he checks the people, the process. The people, the process. There's something else. The people, the process. The prophet. No, something else. But anyway, we got to look at the process. Why? How do we get bad apples? Where do the bad apples come from? That's what I'm saying. And why is it that the bad apples, this guy who shot this young man 16 times, dog, y'all cannot tell me he hadn't done more shit before. I'm sorry, I don't believe it. A man doesn't just one day beat his wife to death. Okay? Something happened. He didn't just one day wake up and beat, unless he's crazy. Y'all get where I'm going? There's other stuff that's happened that's been swept under the rug. We gonna ignore it. We gonna ignore it. Didn't happen. What'd you do? Did you talk? Did you speak back to him? Did you speak rudely to him? What'd you do to him, girl? You had to say something to him. Why else would he have knocked all your teeth out like that? What'd you do? You must have really got him upset with you. Y'all get what I'm saying? All right. Call me, man. 323-870-4064. I pay for the damn phone for 2 hours a night, and I like to use it. When I only use it for 1 hour, they're getting free money out of me. I just call up and ask me how I'm doing. I feel better. All right. I guess nobody else wants to go on the record. Y'all feel me? I guess my stream is stuck. I don't know, guys. My stream is stuck. Maybe that's why things aren't working at this point. All right, guys, look. Let me go to my chat room real quick, see what's going on with the Wolf Pack. Kimberly King says, I truly believe, talking to bass, he has more bodies on his record as well. I believe he has more bodies on his record. He at least has more people that he has hurt on his record. I don't believe a man who would do that to this young man would do so without no other anything ever. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You don't throw your kid down the steps just one day, just throw him down the steps. You dropped him a year earlier. You struck him with a large object before. Something, there's other stuff. It's got to be. And I'm telling you, with all these cases that are like this, I believe that there was something precipitating it. And we need to start looking beyond. So anyway, I'm saying the same thing over and over. I don't want to do that. Joseph Labonte. Okay, this is what I'm asking everyone. I'm asking everyone who's listening to this voice, to my voice, everybody who's watching this video, to tell 5 people about this channel. All right? Tell 5 people about this channel. Tell 5 people about Tim Black at night. This show, it's not about me. It's about we. We do it together. It's only good because I got callers calling in. We cover the hardest stories. We don't shy away. We speak honestly about whatever happens. But I need you to help spread the word. And if you can, I need you to donate to the show by going to Patreon, Tim's Take Live. All right? Even if it's only $1. And I have 50,000 subscribers. If everybody gave me $1, I would never have to ask y'all for another penny. Y'all feel me? I have 50,000 subscribers. If everyone gave me $1, we'd be good. $1 a month. I'd be good. I'm worth $1 a month. I'm worth more than $1. But if everyone did that, I would never have to, you know what? And I would never have to think about, do I need to try to get a sponsor? You know? I want to get off a webcam. I'm on a webcam right now. I should look good like these other guys do when they do their stuff, you know? We got a good message. We need better quality. I like to get that for you just so it can grow. Everybody wants to be good at what they're doing. But if you can't donate to the channel, nothing stops you from telling people about the show. Nothing stopping you from doing that. That is free. And I'm not only asking, I'm expecting you to do it because you're good people. All right? All right. Pound it out. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We'll be back tomorrow. We're not scared. We'll be back tomorrow doing something else. We're going to talk about another issue tomorrow that most people wouldn't talk about. But we're going to talk about it. Right here on the Tim Black at Night Show, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. See me there, folks. Be there, iTunes. Be there, Stitcher Radio. Be there, Blog Talk Radio. Be there, Meerkat. And my Wolf Pack. All right, I'm out, man. Enough selling. If you ain't sold by now, you won't be sold. You're just unsellable. Let's do some music, man. But before we do that, let's do this. My condolences to the McDonald's family. That don't even feel real, man. I don't know. Let's do this. My heart is with all people who have lost loved ones due to police violence. in the memory of your loved one, whether it be John Livingston. I just did his story. If you don't know about John Livingston, go see my video 3 days earlier. Whether it was John Crawford or John Livingston or Tamir Rice or Laquan McDonald or Renika Boyd, who it is, all right? Our hearts are with you, all right? Andy Lopez, I can go back. I'm getting old, but I still remember my people, all right? Our hearts are with you, okay? You can always call up and tell your story here on this show. I can't pay you, but I won't cut you off when you say something they won't let you say on network TV. You feel me? All right? That's got to be worth something. All right, guys, let's roll. Let's do it.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black.
Shout out to Abominable Snowman. Thank you for being here, Mr. Snowman. Thank you, Road King. Road King. David Dorian, they need to think about not having consequences, but the fact that there is another human being you're looking at. That's exactly right. Human being is the word there, David Dorian, but I would expect that of you, David, because you're that kind of guy. You look at the human behind it. Shady Rady, all my people on Meerkat, thank you so much for being here. We out. All right, guys. Hope that I go over here and we're done. Yeah, we're done on this side. I'm feeling spent now, you know? One of those things. You think you kind of done all you can do. You know what I mean? Crap. My bad, guys. I'm just going to show you how I end the show. This is software I use. I'm just ending the show, letting Meerkat people be a part of it.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Then I'm going to send it out to Twitter, Blog Talk Radio, so they get a link to the podcast. And now, I'm going to end the broadcast, man. I'll see you on the next video. Thank you for being